Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. Today is Thursday in Easter week, so we continue to celebrate the resurrection within what is known as the octave of the Feast of the Resurrection, Easter Day. So for 8 days we are celebrating with special intention the resurrection. We celebrate the resurrection every Sunday, and we'll celebrate for all 40 days of Eastertide as well. So today, let's jump right on that with the 20th chapter of St. John's Gospel, which is assigned for our second lesson at evening prayer, beginning at verse 24. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days again, his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Jesus, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, Peace be unto you. Then saith he to Thomas, Reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Jesus saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, hast thou believed? Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. And many other signs truly did Jesus in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written, that ye might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing ye might have life through his name. Okay, so we've been working through all of these resurrection stories, both John's Gospel and the other Gospels as well, with the daily office and with the readings at the Holy Communion services this week as well. So here we have the story, of course, of doubting Thomas, right? Everybody, poor Thomas, he's the one who gets that moniker as being doubting because, he missed it. He missed the first resurrection appearance. I've always kind of wondered in the back of my mind, where was he? Was he out getting food for everybody? Was he outside just having a walk, trying to figure out things in light of the stories of the resurrection that he's hearing? But he misses the first appearance of Jesus. And he sets up a parameter for what it is that he needs in order to believe. And how many of us, set that to God? I mean, in the story of Job, right? Job tells all of these friends who have been disparaging him about his sickness and all of his loss, and he says, "Look, I have these things that I want God to fess up about. He's got to explain this to me." And in the end, God doesn't do any of those things that Job sets up as his needs. He's just happy that God is hearing him and responding to him. In the same with Thomas as well. Thomas says, unless I touch the wounds, unless I put my hands in his side, I won't believe. Now, notice something about the gospel lesson today. Jesus offers, here's my hands, here's my side, be not faithless but believing. Nowhere in this story does it say that he actually touches him, right? His response, his answer immediately is, my Lord and my God, right? He set up the parameters, but just seeing Jesus was going to be enough, right? How do you deny it? Deny what you see with your own eyes. You didn't even have to touch. And of course, the wonderful thing of that phrase, my Lord and my God, is something that many of us in our personal lives of devotion will say as the Blessed Sacrament is being held up during the Mass, right? After I consecrate the sacrament on the altar and elevate it for a moment, after, this is my body, this is my blood. A lot of folks will look with love upon the Blessed Sacrament and say, like Thomas, my Lord and my God. And of course, Jesus's admonition is that, is it only because you see that you believe? And blessed are those who do not see and yet believe. And of course, the church will be continue to grow based on the power of the Holy Spirit, even though we haven't physically seen Jesus in that tangible sense that Thomas gets to see him and the other disciples in the upper room. We believe because of the various ways he's made manifest to us and the truth of God in Jesus Christ. So today's Thursday, and we start our spring-summer service schedule on Thursdays today, which is our Thursday service now is at 9 a.m. And that's part of that is because of interference with the Thursday daytime baseball games with the Detroit Tigers. Even though they don't play today, we're just going to get right back on track. 9 o'clock Holy Communion with the service of benediction as we do on Thursdays. And then, of course, 4 p.m. evening prayer. And I do hope to see you in church or here where you're watching this meditation. May God give you a Thursday that's full of blessings.